So
I can
eating
see
at
why Disney
Subway
might be
is
better.
gotta be best, but if working there, dude, you wanna kill yourself. Like I fucking hate working at Subway.
Oh, you used to work there?
Yeah, I used to work there, dude. It
Bro
was
got the
painful,
lower.
dude.
Bro got the dad lower.
Dude, okay, so what do you call it?
Tell me a story, Bobby.
Which one? Where I got falsely accused? Where my manager lost the ownership of the building, so he vandalized it, or
You say
What?
falsely
yeah,
accused.
we could talk about how this quote unquote gang member joined and like apparently brought some gang activity towards the subway at night.
What the hell?
Yeah,
For the
this
fourth time, Bobby. I told you it's
Tell
not
us
gang,
both.
bro.
Tell us both, Bobby. I want to hear both.
both like what story?
Tell us both, Bobby.
Both stories, bro.
Okay, so let's start with the guy that was in the gang. So he was supposed to. Oh my god, dude! I forgot. There's this fat bitch named Evelyn. She was worse,
Damn.
dude. She was like, you know
Is
those
Evelyn
queso
still watching
memes?
this?
She could not stand for more than an hour. So when we had
Yeah.
lunch rush, I was doing all of the work. And because she was on low income status, she had to leave at a certain time. Well, she couldn't be clocked in at a certain time, and she would use that excuse to leave. So I had to work at a Subway by myself for like 2 hours. Even then,
Damn.
I basically worked there by myself because she wouldn't be able to stand for more than an hour. Well, this guy was supposed to replace Evelyn. His name was, we'll just call him Vaughn. There's another guy named Vaughn too, but
King
like,
Vaughn?
no. All right, so this guy Vaughn, right? He was apparently in juvie, and his whole gang resides in Arizona. And he was talking about how he wanted to go back there. So he was telling me about how he was in these gang affiliation and like he knows a bunch of people and shit. Okay, so there's this kid that worked with us. He was 16, and he was just like, you know, fucking around. He's all like doing some stupid ass gang signs with his finger because like he was just joking around, and he pushed him against the wall and started sizing him up. He's like, "What gang you from, huh? What are you trying to do? You trying to fuck with me?" Or something like,
That's crazy.
yeah, he had a gold chain and everything. Oh, he also, what do you call it? Put a dead spider in a sandwich because he thought it was an olive.
Oh my god, no.
And then we had a call about it too. After that, he quit because he was all like, "Fuck you guys, I'm just a replacement for Evelyn." And we're like, I don't know what else to tell you. You want to know what happened
Damn.
afterward?
What?
He got kicked out of the house that his family let him stay at,
Yeah.
and he was living in his vehicle, and he had so much payments due, he wasn't able to take care of his dog. And apparently he didn't take care of his dog when he was living at his family's house because he would just piss all over the floor and shit. So he had to
Yeah.
sell his dog and give him to a new family just so he can keep his
Yeah.
shit, his possessions.
To
Yeah.
get by.
Yeah, and then he came back, and then he wanted to work there again, but they said no.
Yeah.
So and the other part was
He was falsely accused or something.
okay, so how that happened, oh my lord, that was the beginning of 2023. This manager, or my boss, I'm not gonna say his name because I'm gonna do a lot of bleeping.
Confidentiality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the guy, we'll just call him John. The boss, my boss John, right? Raised this kid named, I don't know, we'll just call her Jackass. So he raised Jackass, right? So
Jackass.
Yeah.
because she was growing up in a terrible toxic family household. A lot of verbal abuse and shit, manipulation. So basically, he brought her into his house and raised her. Now, with that in mind, she comes in. You know, I didn't think anything of it. She was pretty nice and shit. And one day, I was just out of it. So I was just going
Yeah.
through it. I didn't feel like talking. And then she was like, "Oh, okay." She also before that she would also make me get other sandwiches like, "Hey Bob, you think you could take these customers? I gotta do something." I'm like, "Okay." And she would watch Dead by Daylight tutorial videos or read her fucking book.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and
Damn.
I was basically running that shop by myself. And what do you call it? One day she's like, "Oh hey, what's up?" And I was like, "Sup?" I was just like out of it, tired, and didn't want to fucking do it. And she was just, I don't know. She didn't seem like she was bothered or anything. And then she's like, "Are you okay if I leave at 2?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." She was like, "Okay, shit. There's another guy named Vaughn. This is not the gang guy. It's one of my good coworkers I used to work with.
Yeah.
Also, there's a story about him too.
Oh my lord.
But after that, what do you call it? He comes in and you know, she's like, "Okay, you guys have a good one. Bye." She leaves. Arigato. And then he's I thought he was joking around. He's like, "Yeah, Jackass told me that you're treating her like shit and she wanted to go." And I was like, "Nah, she didn't. She's joking." And he pulled out the phone, showed me her Snapchat, which I had her Snapchat too. And I was like,
Yeah.
"What?" I was like, "What the fuck?" And he's all like, yeah, she said that you're being a piece of shit. I was like, no, I was fucking not having a good day, so I didn't talk a lot. And he's like, well, that's what she said. And I was like, okay, well. Next day, she was fucking terrible. Not a word, nothing. She did not talk to me. She, when I went up to help, she was like, oh, you don't have to do this. I got this. And I was like, oh, okay. Didn't think anything of it. The next day, my fucking boss comes in, John. He's all talking about the place and shit. She's all happy and shit. When she's actually talking to me now, I'm like, okay. I thought yesterday was just a bad day. And John goes, Bobby, can I talk with you for a second? I'm like, okay. He goes outside and he's like, hey, so Jackass told me a lot of things that she's having issues with you, saying that you're being inappropriate by saying inappropriate jokes, like a little bit sexually explicit. And I was like, what? And he's like I get it too, because I used to do the same thing back in the day. he said that shit, and I was looking at him like, he said, yeah, I used to like make dirty jokes to my coworkers because I thought they were fine with it, and then I got in trouble. And I was like, ooh, damn. But all I'm saying is, like, she told me that. Also, I saw on the camera you weren't doing anything, and that's what pissed me off, because she was purposely making me go behind doing dishes and not letting me take any customers so she can make it look like I was being a lazy employee.
That's crazy.
Yep. And I was like, oh my god, there's no fucking way. And then I was saying, like, I didn't do that, and he's like, look, I understand, I don't want to start any trouble, but that's what she told me. Just try to avoid it and get on the line more. And I was like, okay. And she tried to, like, after that, she's all smiling and shit, and then when we get a couple people coming in, she's like, oh, I can do this, you don't have to. I was like, nah, I'm gonna help. So I fucking basically pushed her aside and started making sandwiches because I didn't want to look like a piece of shit. And she got pissed off. She was just fucking happy face to a fucking frown. And oh my god, dude, it was terrible. The next day, right? She didn't like my little brother, but now they're playing games. Now they're playing games because
I mean, what the hell? Why say facts? I meant for real.
What's a fact?
I don't know. I said facts, bro. I mean, I want to say for real. That's crazy.
You're getting more screen time, so I had to say so. I was kidding.
Damn.
No, but what do you call it? She didn't like my little brother at first, and my brother didn't really like her, but they started playing the game together and shit. He worked at Subway too. He was like my manager because he worked there longer.
Oh, okay.
But what do you call it? He's like, yeah, we're having a good time. You know, he's opening up to me, telling me about shit. I was like, okay, that's a lie, because he doesn't fucking open up to you. He doesn't open up to anyone. He just fucking tells you as it is. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, you know what? I'm fucking done with this. I decided to quit Subway. And I said, oh, it's not because of Jackass. I just want to expand my horizons and work other places. Okay, cool. I told him I couldn't work a certain day of the week because I had a job interview. They made sure to put me in on that day because I don't know, they fucking hated me. I worked and I wasn't going to work. I was going to say like, hey, you're gonna have to find someone else, but they put someone there, and if I didn't go, they would be there by themselves until 12 o'clock. So I go over there, help, and then at 12 I leave. And she had to go fight a fucking bus and a line full of people by herself. And all these people are like thinking like, I want a sandwich, instead of seeing the one person working by the fucking selves. They don't get a hint, man. After that, I left, and she starts being a piece of shit. She starts stealing hours. She became manager. My brother lost his management position for some reason, and she starts fucking around with the hours, taking more hours than she needs to be, and screwing over other people. And she basically was like treating other people like shit. My little brother said, hey, if you don't fire her, I'm gonna leave. And half of that store, the employees, were working because of my little brother. They knew him. And they're like, no, you guys are just mean. You guys are just always picking on her. She's just fucking doing her best. And she's a piece of shit. She's fucking gaslighting her own fucking family figures. And he's like, okay, fine. You know, like, if you're not going to listen to us, then we might as well leave. He's like, I kid you not. He said this on the phone call, too. It was on speaker. He's like, all you guys are irreplaceable. So I don't give a shit if you leave tomorrow or not. So when my brother left, 8 people quit that day, so they were down to like 6, or I think it was 4 people.
Damn.
Yep. So what do you call it? They continued a little bit after, but then they closed down because one, Jackass was pocketing the money from the cash register and telling lies and stealing more hours. And guess
That's
what?
crazy.
Jackass' little sister joined too, and she's just as toxic as her. And they both started stealing money. And he saw on the camera, and he had to fire them. Then he lost, ownership of the 2 restaurants.
Damn.
And Subway bought back the restaurants, and we're gonna use all his equipment. By the way, we were supposed to have a remodel back in 2019, and it's been it's 2023, and we still hadn't had a remodel because he was too fucking lazy. So they decided, hey, we'll use all the stuff that he bought and make a remodel. And he got pissed because they didn't reimburse him for it. So he took an axe and a blowtorch to the fucking place.
That's crazy.
Yep. And I don't know. I don't know how his case is going. I don't know how Jackass is going too. I never heard of them next. I just know that it could have been avoided if they fucking listened to their employees instead of the pathological liar of a daughter, who everyone said, even their fucking loyal employees said too, she was a bad fucking worker. But no, that place went down to shit right away, and now it stands closed.
She was not one of the elite employees.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's how I got falsely accused, quit, and the store went to shit.
Damn.